Hello again. Here's question 30 from the 2014 exam. There are a lot of words with this question. You should spend a moment reading them, maybe pause this video now and read them carefully, and then I shall go on with it. Okay, the important part is this whole of this first paragraph here is really just distracting and unnecessary. They're telling you about some times for the planet to pass between the star obscuring the light. This is known as an eclipse. It does it every 63 days, 8 hours. You know, it's not useful in any way, and it is distracting from what's really going on here. What's really going on here is this bit during the eclipse. We've got the brightness is measured with this equation. A, N and C are constants, and we have to find what they are. The time t is measured in hours from when it starts functioning. The brightness changes from 100% at the beginning to then 99.8% in the middle, and then it's 100% again at the end. And the duration of the eclipse, that is in this case the period that we are talking about, is 3 hours and 45 minutes. And we have to find A, N and C. To do these type of modelling equations with trig stuff, you absolutely should draw a picture. I mean, a graph. And here we go. Here's my not particularly elegant picture. Very bad. Right, along the bottom we've got time, which we are told is measured in hours. Up the side we have brightness, B. Now the maximum brightness we can get to is 100%. And the minimum we get to in our thing is this 99.8, this one here, 99.898. So 99.898. Now clearly, you know, if I've got a 0 here, this is not to scale. Right. Let's just mark in some things. At the start, we have the brightness is 100%, so that is the first point on our graph. When we're in the middle, we're at the minimum brightness, which is in line with the 99.898, and at the end it returns to 100%. That is, then we're at 100% at the end. Now that end is after 3 hours and 45 minutes, but measured in hours, 45 is 3/4, that's 3.75 hours. And that is the curve, and if I were to put the curve in and that's the maximum. It's a cosine curve, it does that down to there and up to there again. That's a pretty ugly drawing, but hopefully you get the idea. Right, we just got to find the values for A, N and C. I will start with A, that is the amplitude. The amplitude is halfway between, is half of what the maximum to minimum is, so A, max to min is 100 minus the 99.898, all divided by 2, because remember you only measure if I mark in the middle line in a different colour. Middle line goes like that, and the amplitude is from the middle to the top or the middle to the bottom. So in this case that's how you do the calculation, and I'll just use my calculator for working that out. That's 100 minus 99.898, which comes to that, and divide by 2, and we get that. So A is 0.051. Then that's the A part done there. Now the C is the translation up, and you can see the middle line, which on a cosine curve starts off at 0, has gone up to that point there. So C is the 99.898 plus the amplitude, so plus the 0.051. Over there, I've just got to add on the 99. That comes to 99.898. A and C, I've just got to find the little letter n now. Now n is 2 pi on the period, or that's probably on your formula sheet. N is 2 pi over the period, which in our case, the period in hours is 3.75, so it's 2 pi divided by 3.75. If you leave the pi in there, divide the top and bottom by 2, this is at 1.875. That's it as an exact value. If we want it as a decimal, okay, well, we got pi divided by 1.875, which is that. So you can write it as that pi, or you can write it as 1.6. Have they given us? They don't tell us how accurate we have to be, so I'm just going to go to 46755 places of decimal. Those are the values. So we don't have to write it out. Once you've written out what A, C and N are, you've finished. So you didn't have to actually write the equation, though. If you did, you would write the equation like this: that B, the brightness, is equal to 0.051 cosine, I'll use the decimal form, 0.6755 T, I think, yeah, T plus 99.949. I find it necessary to draw the diagram. You could do the calculations and stuff without doing that, but it just makes it so much easier, I think, if you draw yourself the graph to work out these things. A question where the calculations were not tricky at all, but the interpretation of the words was quite a challenge, particularly when they put in that first paragraph, which was just unnecessary, and then you had to fight your way through this lot to find out what was actually going on here. Once you did that, you were okay. And I will stop there.